When originally proposed, the project was expected to cost $870 million and be finished by 2024. But with COVID, supply chain issues, and other delays, the project is now expected to take until 2029 and cost twice as much. The Arizona Burn Center admitted 85 people with heat-related burns last summer. 7 died from their injuries. Foster said the center has already seen 15 to 20 cases this summer. If you come down to the Phoenix Vintage Market, you can buy fantastic comic books just like this one at an amazing price. It was a day of celebration here outside of the National Museum of the American Indian for supporters of the Indian Child Welfare Act, which was just upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States. For more than 50 years, the Smithsonian Folklife Festival has brought artists and performers from around the country and the globe to share their culture here on the National Mall. And this year, that included 2 Diné artists from Navajo Nation. Kevin Aspis, a weaver, and photographer Kayla Jackson got to share their Navajo heritage with festival visitors and talk about how they connected to their respective art forms. Aspis, for example, uses wool from sheep he raises, a major part of Navajo history.
A lot of our group that came along with us from the Navajo Nation have a lot of memories dealing with sheep. A lot of our aunts, a lot of our grandmothers wove using the wool from the sheep.
Both Aspis and Jackson were part of several sessions discussing how their culture drives their art. For Jackson, it's important to be able to share that worldview with people of different backgrounds.
So together we grow together, and we all are combined and encompassed in this worldview. So we get to share that worldview here at the Folklife Festival, which is very honoring, and it's very good at cultural knowledge and cultural exchange, as well as cultural longevity.
Aspis agrees that being in DC means being able to educate the public about Diné history and culture from a Navajo point of view.
It means a lot because there's so many books, so many videos made about Navajo people, but not from their perspective and not from their way of telling, educating the public. So being here and educating the public about our history, historical trauma that we've gone through as Diné people, and how weaving has carried us and maintained itself throughout our collective history as Diné people.
In Washington, Isabel Garcia, Cronkite News. On a clear day, you can see the Capitol building from the Lincoln Memorial where I'm standing. But it is far from a clear day here in DC. Smoke from Canadian wildfires that has been blanketing the Northeast drifted south, and people here woke up to a thick haze this morning.
So yeah, it just felt different. It felt more smuggy, and I had a headache, and my baby was coughing, and we were like, what's going on?
What's going on are hundreds of wildfires that are currently burning in Canada. Almost 10 million acres have burned so far this year, and the smoke from all those blazes has led to very unhealthy air quality up and down the East Coast. One tourist visiting the Lincoln Memorial has had to deal with the smoke in both New York and Washington this week.
Actually, the last day was on Tuesday, and we wanted to enjoy the view from one of the observation platforms. And we just had a view like 1 kilometer, half a mile, let's say, and that's it, yeah.
Officials say the smog blanketing the affected areas should be a concern for everyone. The Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments has even issued its first ever Code Purple air quality advisory for the DC region, 1 level away from hazardous. While some visited the monuments with their face masks on, others did not appear to be as concerned.
No, the smoke really hasn't affected any plans. Maybe this smoke might affect a few plans. But other than that, no, I think we'll have a great day.
The haze is expected to stay around until this weekend, when it will clear up. In Washington, Isabel Garcia, Cronkite News.
3, 2, 1.
Gear up, grown-ups. It's time to race. If you've never heard of a Pinewood Derby, you start with some wood, a little bit of paint, and a lot of creativity to create a miniature race car. This event is typically held by Boy Scouts, but one local business decided adults should get to have some of the fun.
When Brad started it, it was only adult. And I think after 1 or 2 years, he decided to have a kids derby. And that's how it sort of evolved to this. Get the kids out of the way during the day and then bring in the adults at night.
This is the 8th annual Pinewood Derby held by Short Leash Hot Dogs, and it brings out quite a crowd, like this family straight out of a chocolate factory.
So our outfits are inspired by Willy Wonka. We've got our Oompa Loompa, we've got Grandpa Joe, and obviously Willy himself. Every year we participate and go for the Spirit Award, so we're here to win the Spirit Award.
Right now they're getting ready to start the next wave. Let's go ahead and see how these racers are doing.
Oh, it's neck and neck, it's neck and neck. Was that the Peanuts car?
If you missed the race this year, don't worry. The event is hosted every April on the last Saturday of the month. And whether you choose to participate or just look at the creative derby entries, there's fun for the whole family at this event. Isabel Garcia, Cronkite News. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Isabel Garcia. And now, deadly storms across the Midwest, South, and Mid-Atlantic took at least 32 lives this past weekend as tornadoes ripped through homes and communities. Take a look at this video from Wine, Arkansas. This is a high school football field after severe weather made its way through the city. And here's drone footage taken over Rutherford County in Tennessee. About 30 homes took damages and some were completely destroyed. Parts of Delaware were also hit hard this weekend. This aerial footage from Sussex County shows buildings leveled from tornadoes. According to the Weather Service, there were close to 100 locations where tornadoes were spotted Friday and Saturday. Tobacco use remains the leading cause of preventable deaths in Arizona, according to a report by the American Lung Association. In response, many cities have raised the minimum sale age of tobacco products to 21. But as Yuri Hahn found out, many municipalities don't have penalties for selling to minors. The city of Tempe is the latest city trying to change that. Governor Hobbs is pausing executions in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Alyssa Munoz is telling us what the reasons are. Experts believe Hobbs and her team will bring up the recent mismanagement of the system, citing lack of staffing with the proper expertise.